Today, you're gonna learn how to 360 with no rope behind the boat. You're gonna wanna start far back in the wave. From here, you can apply a little bit of weight in your front foot, get some speed towards that boat. Drop your back hand in the water, and right from here is when you can ride up that face of the wave and start your rotation. As you're rotating, you want to be evenly distributing your weight throughout the board. You don't want to be all back foot or all front foot. You want to be nice and evened out on that water so your rotation will be nice and smooth. Halfway through that rotation, once you're through in that 180, this is when you can turn your head and kind of spot that boat. That way, that last 180, your shoulder and hip will kind of swing right around back into your normal position. From here, if you're on like a sketchy part of the wave, just get back into that comfortable spot where you would just normally stand wake surfing. If you find yourself really far back in the wave, which happens a lot, you want to come back around, apply that weight on your front foot. That way, you kind of stay in the wave. A really important part to learning this 360 is your approach. On your approach, I want you to stay nice and close to that wave, drive straight down that line directly towards the boat, and that's when you drop your back hand in and start your rotation. What I don't want you to do is do a big bottom turn in the flats and then go into it. If you do it this way, you're gonna end up on the opposite side of the wake. If you find yourself over-rotating, just one, slow your rotation down. You could just be throwing it too hard. The slower you rotate, the more controlled it'll be. Another good way to stop your rotation after the 360 is right after you've done that full rotation, stand up and apply some weight in your back foot. Kind of edge your tail into the board to stop your rotation. Use your rails. When you're about to drop that back hand in the water, make sure when you do, your chest isn't dropping down over your toes. You want to be squatting, keeping that chest up and grabbing the water. That way, if you were to rotate with your chest down, you would immediately put too much weight in your toes and be outside the wake. There's also two ways you can go about doing this 360. You can kind of divide the 360 into two 180s. To do this, you slowly go up the wave and rotate that first 180. And then on your way down, you ride down the wave switch. Once you're in the flats of the wave, that's when you finish that last 180. One positive to doing it that way is you definitely will not over rotate because it'll be nice, slow and controlled. If you're doing it all one full motion, it'll be a little bit more tricky to stop yourself from rotating. A few important parts to doing it this way is your first 180, as you're coming down switch, you're gonna want to apply a lot of weight in your back foot. When you're coming down switch, your tail won't nosedive into that water. You ride up the wave, do your first 180, and on your way down, you want to put some weight in your back foot, come down, and then finish that last 180 in the flats. When you're finishing that last 180 in the flats, you want to make sure you're evenly distributing your weight. That way you don't swing around and immediately nosedive or lose your balance. You want to be nice and centered over the board. The more common way to do this 360 is to do your full rotation nice and quick. It's just one fluid motion, so you're not stopping in between your 360. So this way to do it, you spend a little bit more time in the wave during your 360. Some key takeaways for doing it this way is one, making sure your chest is up, and two, make sure you're evenly distributing your weight throughout the board so you're not pivoting on one foot.